Okay, so this video is going to be kind of just random thoughts and opinions of ownership for my 2019 Insight. So don't expect any sort of masterful organization out of my content here. Just thoughts and opinions that people have as they own a car. Without further ado, we'll begin here. So I bought this car, I want to say November last year, 2022. Had 68,000 miles on the clock, and now it has about 78,000. So about 10,000 miles in just a little over half a year here. So far, it's been a great car. The only issue I've had has been electronic, and even that's been minor. It's been elective, really. It was the head unit. So that cost about $900 to replace, albeit it was a remanufactured one, but that still did the job better than any other new one would have. It looked brand new. It functions as it would brand new. So style-wise, I really like the look of this car. It's kind of how I think the 10th gen Civic should have looked. It's got the Accord styling cues on the Civic platform or build or whatever. Different body panels from the Civic. It doesn't have the, as you'll see here, doesn't really have those crab claw taillights that both the Civic and the Accord have. So I think that's a plus in my book. On top of that, you get all the Accord technology. So the head unit software is very much similar, runs a lot faster than the Civic head unit. Same with the dash. The only Civic technology part you really see in there is the climate controls right below the screen. It's a single zone climate control. I have the EX, so it's nothing super duper fancy, nothing way ahead of its time, but it's plenty enough tech for an everyday driver. While we're at it out here, let's take a look under the hood and I'll show you what's what. Right under the hood here, so we have the IMMD hybrid system from Honda that had debuted, at least here in America, 2014ish. Well, I guess 2013, but for the 14 model year. This is the only car that you're going to find the 1.5 liter engine in. The rest are 2.0s, I believe, and that's for good reason. These are quite buzzy on the highway. They're all quite a bit slower too on the highway. They just don't have the torque that you would out of the 2.0 that for just highway cruising, accelerating, passing people to accelerate in the way that the 2.0 would. So that's probably why this is the only car you find it in. They just switched to the 2.0 for the upcoming Civic and all the others. So that's not to say it isn't a good hybrid powertrain. Around town, it's plenty good. I can get upwards of 60 miles per gallon when I do my part-time delivery job. I average about, I'll show you when I get in there, but it's in the low, it's in the low 50s, upper 40s typically, and that's not even hypermiling. So, but what's nice about these is they're very, at least in the last, I don't know, 10 years they've been around, they've proven themselves to be very reliable. You look online, you won't see much of anything about people needing battery replacements on these particular hybrid systems. So that's one really nice thing to know about these. Age we'll have yet to see with how the battery fares in 10-20 years, whether they're dropping like flies or not, but so far these things are holding up really nice and well. Okay, into the interior we go. Now keep in mind here, as I said earlier, this is an EX trim, so not all the bells and whistles, but a few of them. So fit and finish here, we're going to start with right off the bat. Still no creaks or rattles after almost 80,000 miles. We're at 78,000 now, I believe. Dash, no cracks or anything I wouldn't expect there to be with 3 years on the car as far as age is concerned, but these days you never know with quality control and all that, so it's good to know that that's just not going to be an issue after this far. We'll fire up the 12-volt battery anyways here. I'll show you my mileage. Yep, fuel economy, it's been going up recently because I haven't refreshed it in a while, but 49 or so is about average for me. The cold start always uses a lot of gas in these things because it idles for a good bit of time, and it's odd because it idles, but it doesn't use that power from the engine to power the battery or the wheels. It's odd. I think it's just doing it either for climate or just warming up the engine, but you run low on battery right away when you start the car and start driving, and then it has to kind of recuperate it most times. It's kind of odd how that works, but once you get through the cold start phase, then it's just as efficient as you'd expect it to be. I should mention with any hybrid really, you're gonna get lower numbers typically than what the EPA says, just because their test cycle isn't exactly what you would be dealing with driving in the real world here. So when you're shopping for any hybrid, particularly these, for some reason these are less efficient than other hybrids compared to their EPA numbers, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah, all right, so like I said, this is the Accord style head unit. It fits the Civic dash with the Accord processors, RAM, software, etc. Android Auto works nicely. Finally, I've got my wireless adapter here, and I have to plug that in, which is super nice. Oh yeah, so the thing I wanted to mention with this, the only thing that was wrong with this was a bad Bluetooth Wi-Fi module. Me being a computer geek, I thought, you know, that should be easy. You can just unplug the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi radio chip, and you can just swap in a new one, easy peasy. Nope, apparently right to repair isn't really in a car electronics right now, so you have to buy a whole different head unit, whether it be reman or brand new. And I most certainly went with reman because it is about a third the cost of a new one. The new one is about $2,600, while the remanufactured one is less than $1,000. It's like 900 something. I think it was like 901.58 was my bill. So that was just a no-brainer for me to get that. Other than that, the car has been essentially flawless. No problems mechanically. This is the only thing that I've had issue with. Here, let's talk about down here real quick with the shifter, these buttons and whatnot, because it is kind of, you don't think about it right away when you buy the car, but it really is something you need to take into consideration. It's more an issue, even more so on the Accord hybrids. But these buttons right here, you get used to them actually. At least I did. Some people may not, but you just click around, it's fine. My issue with it is it's so close to where you put your drinks and stuff that you could easily get, you know, a sticky bottle of Sprite or whatever Coke on your parking sensor, your drive modes, your gear selector, any of this. So you have to be really careful with it. Like my drive button, it's fine right now, but sometimes depending on the temperature, time of day, I don't know how it's feeling, it tends to get real sticky. Here, even this, I don't know how that managed. Maybe it was the previous owner, I don't know. But they get sticky if you get fluids on them. So that's something to be very, very, very mindful of when you own this car. Other notes here, it's got plenty of power to charge here, at least for an economy car. 2 USB ports here, another 12 volts. So I've got a really simple dual USB 12 volt thing here going right to my main phone that I apparently can't upload from. So yeah, like I said, this isn't like a huge tech extravaganza like a Tesla Model 3 or some sort of $100,000 luxury barge, but it is plenty of tech for the average Joe Schmo like me who just uses this car to get to work and every day. So yeah, it's not like it's some sort of $100,000 six-figure luxury barge of the like. It's plenty of tech though for any Joe Schmo like me to go about their business every day, whether it's going to and from work, hanging out with buddies, picking them up, going to eat, whatever. It's plenty enough to get around, road trip, and not really suffer any inconveniences or feel like, oh, I'm losing out on this. That said though, because I'm in the EX model, I have cloth seats, no heat-related seats, which I kind of prefer just because it gets like upwards of 100 degrees here sometimes in Minnesota. That can get really, really hot in the summer, and then when it's negative 30, whatever the hell, it's really, really cold. So that's kind of a plus, honestly. The only thing I wish I had was heated and ventilated seats. Same with a heated steering. Wow, same with a heated steering wheel. So yeah, those are my thoughts, at least on the interior so far. Okay, so we're wrapping things up here. It's really hard for me to fault this car for what it does. It's not the most exciting car in the world. It's not the most extravagant car, not the most luxurious. But what it sets out to do, which is be a very well-rounded, fuel-efficient commuter car, it does very well. Being at around 80,000 miles, it's been impeccably reliable, save for the oddity with the head unit. It's very stylish for what it is. It's a good mix of the 10th gen Accord styling on the Civic body, which is kind of how I wish all the Civics came, if I'm being honest. It has plenty of room for what it is. Of course, the Accord is going to be quite a bit bigger, but you're going to pay a premium for that. So if you very much are considering one of these, I can't really say a reason to not buy it. And with that said, I think I'm going to wrap it up. So let me know what you guys think of the car. My opinions are only one of however many. I know there are plenty of other good competitors out there that I haven't driven yet. Like I haven't driven, or at least extensively, I haven't driven the same model year generation Prius, nor like any of the Fusion or Hyundai, Kia hybrids. So with that, I'll sound off, and you guys can sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think here. Yeah, this is my first kind of thoughts, whatever video about this car. So yeah, thanks guys. See you in the next one.